So we're going to find space for ourselves now in another grounding flow. So in our last grounding flow, we kind of talked about what it means essentially to ground the body when we're caught up in thoughts, feelings, and we can very quickly just kind of follow those, and they just weave this web, and then we can feel trapped, entangled, and unable to shake it free. And we have to realize that we are in control, we have that power, and wherever we start to feel a little bit out of control, a little bit lost, essentially all you need to think about doing is coming down, feeling the ground beneath your feet, a sigh of release, and just a little pause. So really it's a practice you choose to do as and when needed. But then quite often we don't know we need it until we come into it, and then we feel so much better. So I'm going to go through a 20-minute sequence and teach you some more poses to help you ground. And it's not kind of a quick fix. These are things that you can do repeatedly when you need them, kind of like giving you a little toolbox of poses. But it isn't just the pose, it's about what you do within the pose. So coming down, grounding, but then allowing everything to soften into it, breathing into it, activating the parasympathetic nervous system, and just allowing the chemicals, everything in the body to just slow down. And you can grab yourself a cushion, a blanket, something to sit on. Just feel it can be a nice alternative just to soften the practice. So we're going to start grounding, hands to knees. And I want you to inhale, lift the shoulders all the way up to the ears. And then I want you to forcefully let it go. Now, we're going to do this a few times and really actively drop. You know that saying of the weight of the world on your shoulders? Sometimes, oh my goodness, it does feel like that. And we need to know whatever it is that we're holding, we don't need to hold it all the time. Although it might seem that way, we absolutely don't. In fact, the more we can kind of put it down, the better we're going to feel. So let's do one more. Good. And a nice kind of analogy, something I do in my kids practice really, but it transcends here. It's not kiddie in any way. Is I want you to imagine that everything that is bothering you, worrying you, everything that's bearing down on you, giving you a load, I want you to imagine it's on your back. It's in a backpack, it's in a rucksack. And I want you to just take a moment, and you're going to choose for yourself here to just slip that backpack off. We're going to take it off one shoulder, take the arm through, trust in this practice, take the other one off, bring your arm through, and just feel the weight of that backpack, and then actively put it down. Okay? If there's important things in there, there are things that we do need to worry about. Worry is not just something that's here to not serve us. Worrying has a purpose. That's why it's evolved with us. But it's when that worrying escalates and it gets too much, and actually it's not useful because we're overthinking, overusing it. That's when we need to get rid of. But if it's things that actually, they're important, we have them there and we will attend to them afterwards. But we're going to feel better if we just put that to one side. Out of sight, out of mind. Hands back to the knees. We've taken that load off, and I want you to actively just roll through your spine and just see how it feels. A little wiggle of the shoulders, just to kind of notice that little freedom there, the looseness, and just sweeping the head all the way round. Chin to chest and around the opposite way. And this might feel really tight. And that's, a sign we're always holding that tension. Just keep circling one way and then the other. And don't be too precious about it. Just allow movement to release. Let's do a couple more here. Back round. Good, and then here. Shoulders are down. Eyes softly closed. Hands down on the knees. An inhale. And an audible exhale. It allows you to just take a moment. To realize this may be your first moment you've taken for yourself all day. And to know that this pause might be quite a challenge. And when things are a challenge, we have an urge to fight it off, to not want to do it, to want to push it away. Notice maybe if that fight's come within you, to maybe fast forward through this bit, or come on, let's move on. When actually this is the practice. Taking time outside of the normal routine of here, there, everywhere, to just pause. A time can escape us. It really can. It's like, what happened today? What did, where did the time go? Most of that's because we're so busy focusing on other things, or we're absent-minded. We're not present in the here and now. And I'm not aiming to make you be in the here and now every single minute of the day. But if we can find pockets of the day in which to just kind of come back, feel the temperature of the air in the room. Notice any sounds around you. Any smells. Maybe anything you can feel, whether that's underneath your seat, underneath your hands resting on your knees. Not necessarily feeling emotionally, but feeling tactilely. And then you can start to kind of scan through the body. And just start with a little lick of the lips. Maybe a wiggle of the jaw side to side. A little release of the neck, the shoulders. And just notice, how do you feel in your body today? Maybe what areas in particular do you need to move? Do you need to breathe into? Do you need to stretch out? How's the spine? How's the hips, the sit bones? How's the thighs and the calves and the knees and the toes? Feel free to wriggle around and just move each body part just to kind of awaken and allow you to delve deeper. See how it feels. And keeping your eyes closed, I want you to move your hand and place one on top of the other to your heart space. And I want you to feel your heart beating. Just know how many other hearts are beating in the world around you right now. Even though everyone's doing their own thing, we're all the same. We are a body, we are a heart, and we're breathing machines. But of course, there's so much more than that. Each of us, our own little intricacies, our own uniqueness and beauty, our own things that make us us. And what makes us us also unites us with everyone else around us. Sharing our gift. Simply being you is your gift. And truly, truly believe that. That's where it all starts. This kind of self-love. And it's not putting ourselves on a pedestal. It's truly, we can only give once we can value ourselves. Changing the chatter of the mind to not always put ourselves down, but to lift us up. It may feel odd at first if you're not used to it. But that truly is where it starts. Value yourself. Just for being exactly who you are. Not trying to be anyone else. Because why would you be when you can be you? Slowly let's release the hands down, back onto the knees. And then once you feel ready, we'll just blink open the eyes and come back. Good. Let's take a circle now rolling forward. Oh, notice if you're sitting on something, make sure you're fully cushioned here. You're not kind of going to roll off onto one edge and feel unstable. Stability is what we want in a grounding practice. So if the cushion doesn't work underneath you, just take it away. Reset that spine and the pelvis, and then find your circle, and again the opposite direction. Nice. Good. Now we're going to come to find our seats. I'm going to keep my cushion underneath me. I'm going to extend the legs out wide, and here you can have cushions underneath each under each knee, and the kind of a little bend here. You don't need to be straight at all, but we're going to simply allow ourselves just to fold forward. So here we're holding a lot of tension in the hips, in the glutes. We're stretching those out, releasing those. At the same time, we're coming down to earth, stretching the hamstrings. Now, what a really nice thing to do here is get yourself a huge, big cushion to lie into. Sadly, I don't have my big bolster with me at the moment. I'm going to double my cushions here. And then I'm going to rest the forearms down. And you're not aiming to come flat down. No. We're just aiming to allow the head to drop. And if you can, something under the forehead feels really nice. So either if it's your hands or the cushion, maybe a block. That's what we do. And then just notice, if you're clenching your bum, it's so common. Just squeezing and holding here. Actually, we want to release. So just notice, where are you holding yourself? Can you just drop that tension away? Just allow yourself to soften. And I want you to find what's called a ujjayi breath, so you can tune into the sound, because it's also known as ocean breath, because you can hear kind of the sound of the ocean. As you breathe out, and it's so soothing. So find your ujjayi breath, the restriction at the back of the throat. And with each round of breath, allow yourself to kind of slip away into relaxation. And so we're going to do 2 more. Never rushing that last breath. And then we take our time to slowly come back out. Walking the hands back, moving the cushions, and using your hands just to ease each knee up. So we've been in that pose for a little while. It can just feel, quite harsh to get those legs up. You give a helping hand. Now I'm going to shuffle round, and we're going to come into a supine position. So on our back, we're going to use cushions here. So you can use blocks. Cushions are just a little bit more squishy and comforting. So I'm going to be sitting either on the mat. You don't need to be on a cushion. But we're going to use a second cushion just to prop up against the base of the spine. Now I'm using my core here to allow myself to roll down. Now you can probably hear it in my voice. Oh, it's already feeling so good. You want to feel that release across the chest. You're opening the chest, across the hip flexors if you extend the legs. If it doesn't feel good, your feet planted down, that's all good. But if you can, here, just nice and open. And then just to add a little bit more, we're going to extend the arms out wide, maybe a little bit of a cactus in that elbow, and make sure the back of the head is resting down onto the mat. Now here we simply stay, close the eyes, and I want you to feel into all the points of contact now that are on the mat. So maybe starting with the backs of the hands. You can feel the carpet, the rug, the mat, the wooden floor, whatever it is. Hot, cold, warm, soft, hard underneath the arms. And then feel the mat just underneath the head. Kind of notion of being held, supported here. Nothing can bring you any harm. You are safe and held. And then feel the cushion. And it just meets all the points on your spine. You can sit into your seat a little deeper, just the sit bones supported, cushion just reaching up to the base of the spine. And feel the expansiveness of the chest, the rise of the belly as the diaphragm pushes down. And the stretch across the front of the legs, the quads, the hip flexors. And then feeling the mat underneath your heels. And your feet are just happily positioned. And we soften the muscles in the face. Make sure the teeth are slightly apart. And we drop the tongue from the roof of the mouth. And stay just for a few more breaths. Good. Now from here, you're going to start to wiggle your fingers and your toes. And then draw one leg in and then the other. And come to roll to one side. So you're going to roll it over nice and carefully, not rushing anything. And slowly coming to lift your way back up to your seat. Whew. So here, you can of course choose to stay a lot longer in the poses. But sometimes, that is all it takes, just to find a little reset. Let go of all those heavy thoughts, feelings, whatever, and just come back, to the essence of you and what makes you perfect in every single way. Nice. Let's inhale, lift the arms high. And exhale, bring your hands through to prayer. Thank you for being here, for practicing with me, and I'll see you for another one very soon. Namaste.